Hello, how are you all? I hope so all are well. As we have started from yesterday talking about the roots, I think so all got it about the root. Let's just recapitulate the things out again about the root that there are different types of roots, tap roots, fibrous roots, adventitious roots, as well as there are different modifications of root which help in the storage of food, the prop root, the stilt root, the nematophores, as well as primary root, which give rise to the secondary and the tertiary. Here, when we talk about the tap root, it's a single primary root which give rise to the different regions till the apex or near the stem where the stem grows. So today we'll start with the stem. As we have said that the root develops from the radical part of the seed. So we say that where the stem will grow or develop from the plumule. Means it will bear several nodes, internodes, buds, which might be terminal. When we talk about terminal, means up straight in a single one, and actually means near the branches. Now let us see by the little more diagram. When we are forming a stem, the root section is down over here. The above part, when we say the above part, it consists of the green part also. Sometimes the petiole is present. This is called a petiole, which act as a connection between the main plant or the leaf. And this is the terminal portion. Sometimes the leaf is present at this tip. So when we see these leaves, there are different portions here which are present. When the flower bud, some represent or give rise to the flower bud, from where the leaf grew, that region is called as the node. And the portion between the two nodes is called as the internode. Now we can see in some parts near the node, some small outgrowth is there. We call it as axillary bud. Now you can see the axillary bud going into or growing into the different forms as some tendrils can be grown from this part if it's a climber. Then spikes or the thorns can grow from here for the protection. So means axillary bud is that part which modify itself to grow into the different parts, modifying like the axillary bud which develops into the tendrils, some forms the thorns, some form the cylindrical part here, or make the shoot strong here. So we say that the stem part now is away from the gravity. So we can give the name to it as negative geotropic when the root is positive geotropic. Then we can also say that the stem is positively phototropic, means roots were negatively phototropic, as well as these defined as the ascending part of the shoot axis. Yes, defined as the ascending. Now, what is the how will you define a stem? What is a stem? Stem is the main axis of the shoot system of the plant, as well as it act as the ascending part of the shoot axis. Now we all know what are the chief function of it. What are the chief functions? We call about the chief functions of stem. What are the chief functions? We all know that they spread out into different branches, giving rise to the leaves, fruits, flowers. So we can say that production and support, production and support of leaves as well as fruits, flowers, and the main important is when we talk about the conduction of water, minerals, and food material. So we can say that conduction, xylem and phloem, we all have read about the conductive tissue or the complex tissues. So these help in the transport from the source to the sink region. So what about we'll read about the stem. There are modifications also as they were in the roots part. What are the modifications of the क्योंकि कुछ ना कुछ changes जरूर होते हैं stems में which make it differently. So here the modification of stems, some you would have seen that some modified to form the underground stem. We call it as a underground stem. How? For the storage of food. They act as a pet nation to the like when the conditions are unfavorable. Like for example, underground stem का सबसे अच्छा example क्या है हमारे पास है potato है. We have ginger, turmeric, then जिमीकंद also है ना जमीन वाला part of जो होता है. Then if we talk about the tendrils में now this I was seeing here that these axillary buds these axillary bud when modifying themselves to form the tendrils to the climbers to climb. Another function is to climb. For example, here we can say the grapevines or the grapes. जितनी भी गार्ड फैमिली हो गई, the cucumber family, they all modify themselves into the tendrils part. Then some may form the thorns also. Thorns means the spine for protecting themselves. सिट्रस फ्रूट्स में आप बहुत बड़े बड़े स्पाइन्स दिखते हैं नहीं थॉर्न्स दिखते हैं सॉरी नॉट स्पाइन्स एग्जैक्टली बोगनवेलिया yes so these axillary bud have modified into the different parts. Now there are also some kind like if you see in the reproductive part we can see that sometimes what happens the stem itself grow into a न्यू प्लांट है ना वहां से स्टेम उसको जगह नहीं मिल रही इट इज नॉट हैविंग अ गुड क्लाइंबर सो व्हाट हैपेंस इट फॉर्म्स a type of a mode to grow into a new plant as for sense in mint and jasmine what happens in mint and jasmine पुदीना में देखा है आपने इस तरह से the roots grow and we if we also want to grow we take the from the where it is growing we take that small plants with the root and we grow them nearby to our place so these mint and jasmine are cylindrical or lateral branches which arises from the base of the main axis and after growing downwards and touch the ground means they will grow laterally down बहुत सारे leaves है ना पुदीना jasmine हो गया which are long ones now what happens this stem will go they'll get the soil over here then again from this part these will grow so again in some of the aquatic plants now how what is happening in the aquatic plants in aquatic plants like we can see the pistil and the ecornia जिसको हम सिंघाड़ा भी बोलते हैं they also have the lateral branch with the short internodes and each node have a tuft of roots. If so, in some kind of a plant, we can say stem में इसने tufts of roots can be in between. So if we cut it, we want to grow it, they can grow into a new plant. Now, how in banana and pineapple? What is happening in banana, pineapple? The lateral branches arise from the basal and the underground horizontally, and then one come out obliquely upward to form the leafy shoots. कभी भी देखना बनाना का प्लांट जहाँ पे लगा होगा, we can it will not come out as percent, just from the basal part, it will the leafy portion will come out, and this will grow into a new plant itself. So if you want, we'll remove this part from the root, बहुत नीचे जाके, and then it grows into a new plant. Then the grasses में कैसे दिखता है सबसे, देखो ग्रास की एक बाहर ग्रास लगी हुई है, आपने वहां से निकालना है, इस तरह से हमें नोट्स दिखती है छोटी छोटी डिफरेंशिएटेड नोट्स. यू ग्रो दैट पर्टिकुलर ग्रासेस फ्रॉम वन स्ट्रॉबेरी, देख लो स्टोलॉन्स जिसको हम बोलते हैं, दिस वे प्लांट ग्रो कर लेता है, फिर वो ग्रो करता है, यहाँ पे ब्रांच आना शुरू हो जाती है. सो द स्ट्रॉबेरी दे स्प्रेड टू द न्यू निक्स फ्रॉम ओल्डर पार्ट्स एंड डाई, और उसमें होता भी है, दिस ओल्डर प्लांट विल डाई एंड दिस न्यू विल ग्रो. So the new plant will grow and they act as the organ of perennation. We can say that from which it act as a storage stem. यहाँ से grow करना शुरू कर दिया तो this will die part. Okay. So we can say that they are different parts of the stem which help to grow into a new plant. Now, whenever we are reading about the stem, also we always say few of the things to recall the things. चलो characteristics हमें अगर recall भी करें, तो we know that stem bear buds. They have multicellular hairs also on the external surface. Scale leaves or the adventitious leaves may appear. जैसे sugar cane में था, the adventitious roots were present here. So, if we divide the functions of stem into primary and secondary. Primary we all usually read. Secondary is somewhat modifications. As we have been, उसमें ये different नाम भी दे दिया जाता है, उसमें कोई problem नहीं है. As we go for the primary, we all know primary में हमने क्या क्या पढ़ा था. That are the primary ones, the major ones: support, hold, conduction, है ना. So these are the primary function of the stem. Now, what are the secondary or the accessory? The secondary is that, like here, the perennation is going on, underground stems forming different type of plant during the unfavorable conditions like gingiber हो गया, dry terrace हो गया, storage of food acting where the parenchymatous food is stored usually in the parenchymatous cells and the underground stems like colocasia, potato, ginger. Photosynthetic also when modified into the phylloclad or the cladwood, like in opuntia. है ना, cladwood and cladwood, asparagus, ruscus. The young leaf flattened stems help in the photosynthesis. Then vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation तो वही propagation है where what? Other than the reproductive part means root, leaf and the stem takes part of for the reproduction. As for saying इसमें अपन general topics लिख देते हैं. It helps in the perennation, vegetative propagation, storage of food की तरह is also a secondary function. Then as a vegetative propagation also they develop like thorns. Thorns exactly क्या हुआ? Protection. ये secondary function हो गया against the browsing, as well as they act as a climbers. तो हमें इसको डिवाइड भी कर सकते हैं ऐसे कि which are the primary functions and which are the secondary functions. Like in the passiflora हो गया climbers का बहुत अच्छा example. Examples are very important. If you are reading the NCERT also, examples are so important regarding your if you are giving the competition exams also. So this was about the STEM. This has been read before also. कुछ नई चीज नहीं है, but नई चीज क्या है, थोड़ा सा elaboration, थोड़ा सा examples, what exactly it is they actually signify, and rest is the same. Next we'll meet in the, we'll do with the leaf part. Okay then. Thank you for till now.